21st century is here. So far, it hasn't brought us jetpacks, but it has brought teachers technology tools that let you reach students in ways that you never could have previously. But the 21st century has also brought privacy concerns. More and more, these online tools are collecting student data. So, what should a teacher or school do? What are your legal obligations? And what are the best practices for protecting student data? That's what this video is for. I'm going to explain your obligations and give you some simple steps to protect your students and you. There are several laws that dictate how schools and teachers handle student data. There's COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. COPPA puts special restrictions on software companies about the information they can collect about students under 13. So students under 13 can't make their own accounts. Teachers have to make the accounts for them. And there's CIPA, the Children's Internet Protection Act, which requires districts to put measures in place to filter internet access and other measures to protect students. Then there's PIPA. PIPA is PIPA's not a law. PIPA's Kate Middleton's sister. But the big law that covers most of this is FERPA. FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Probably the most important thing to know is that, according to FERPA, schools must have written permission from the parent or guardian in order to release any information from a student's education record. So the most important thing is, you shouldn't be sharing student information with apps and websites without parent permission. How do you follow FERPA and still use technology? You don't need a law degree to teach using technology. You just need to follow some simple steps. First, before you use any software that includes any student data, go and check the district academic technology menu. It's easy to search and find the website, app, or software that you plan to use. When you find the tool that you want to use, check its FERPA status. If it's listed as approved, that means that student data can be shared with the company that runs the tool and you are clear to use it. If the tool is listed as parent consent required, you need to get parent permission. If you don't find the website or app that you are looking for on the menu, you'll also have to get parent consent. Active parent consent means that the parent or guardian of every student would sign a permission form for their data to be in that website, app, or software. You might remember that this is pretty much exactly what FERPA says. Schools must have written permission from the parent or eligible student in order to release any information from a student's education record. There are forms for this consent on the district's Student Data Privacy website. You can send them home for each online tool, or you can use the form that lets you list multiple tools. You can do this classroom by classroom, or for the whole school. You have to do this for each year for each tool. And hang on to the consent forms for 1 school year. Remember though, if you don't get consent, you can't put student data in the application. That was a lot of steps. Don't worry, we'll review it in the end. There's one other option. You can anonymize student data. This means that wherever you are putting a student's name, you instead put in anonymous information. So instead of a student's first name, you would put Blue. And instead of the last name, you would put Bonnet or Bunny or Suede Shoes. But this could be unwieldy for you as a teacher to keep track of which student is Blue Bonnet and which is Red Rover. And if students are putting other data into the system that could be construed as personally identifiable or as part of their student record, this still wouldn't do the job. You'd still want to get parent consent. So, let's review. If you want to use an online tool with students, check the academic technology menu. If the tool's FERPA status is approved, use it. If the tool's FERPA status is parent consent required, or if it's not on the menu, use the forms on the Student Data Privacy website to get active consent. Send one for each online tool or one for multiple tools, classroom by classroom, or for your whole school. Do this each year for each tool, and keep the forms for 1 school year. If you don't get consent, you can't put student data in the application. In some cases, anonymizing data with fake student names is sufficient too. but use discretion if it's a website that collects other data. That's it. If you have questions, go to the Student Data Privacy website. All of this is on there, and many of your questions are answered there too. Now, go out there and use technology to help every child succeed.